All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and I welcome you all to this session, which we would definitely, like to convert into an open discussion after some time. The agenda of the session is very simple. Since many of you have been in touch with certain campaign managers, we've heard from your campaign managers how some of you have a doubt if after 1.5 months of the Give India fundraising challenge, is it still feasible? Is it still reasonable? Is it still allowed, or is it still okay if you can now start participating and winning rewards in the Give India fundraising challenge, or is it too late for you to do that? We're trying to address this very same question during this entire 1 hour that we have. And to start with, the answer is yes, you have not lost any significant time to participate in the Give India fundraising challenge. While you can see on the screen that according to us, the Give India fundraising challenge started on the 1st of Feb and will go until March 30th, which means that any donation a charity is raising on their fundraising profiles on Give India fundraisers between this duration, it will automatically get considered towards the Give India fundraising challenge. Okay. Now there might be cases where some of you may have, gotten a donation or two organically. You may have done a test donation on your profile. As long as it is done 1st February onwards, it is by itself automatically a part of the Give India fundraising challenge. However, organic donations or those one-time test donations may not be sufficient to help you win rewards in the Give India fundraising challenge. And if you're wondering whether it's too late, the beauty of the Give India fundraising challenge is that no charity is competing with one another in the central rewarding structure of the Give India fundraising challenge. So it's not like one charity has had 1.5 months of fundraising, so they would have taken a lead and they would be taking away something if you begin after a month, or let's say within after or at a time when only 2 weeks are remaining in the Give India fundraising challenge. Trust me, there have been organizations who have raised funds only in the last 10 days of the Give India fundraising challenge with a very rigorous pitch that donate funds to us and claim your tax exemptions
Hi
today.
Pranav, so sorry to disturb you. Actually, the volume is low. The all the participants are asking to raise volume, I guess.
All right. Thank you, Rishi, for bringing that
Yeah,
to
yeah,
my attention. Is it better now? I've just moved the microphone closer to my.
yeah. It is very much better.
Great, great, great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So as I was saying, that if you're wondering that, with just 2 weeks remaining in the Give India fundraising challenge, is it too late? Since you're not competing with any charity, there's obviously nothing that has been taken away from you. If you think that you can still raise some donation, you can still get a few donations, some of those year-end contributions from your HNI network or from your CSR partners, you can still very much leverage at least certain rewarding schemes of the Give India fundraising challenge. So no, it's not too late. And that is what the beauty of the challenge is. I was just quoting an example, I'll quote it again. We've had organizations who have fundraised in the last 10 days of the Give India fundraising challenge with a rigorous pitch to all of their donors that, claim your tax exemptions or get your tax exemptions by donating to us. It has been as simple as that for some organizations. In fact, some of our key accounts, I mean, NGOs who have been consistently fundraising with us over the years, and, they understand of, how the platform works. Some of our key accounts have only recently started to fundraise because it's March, last month of the financial year, perfect time for them to pitch about tax exemptions and matching rewards to their donors. Thus, you can definitely leverage the opportunity even now. Your only competition is with yourself. And even when I say competition, it's only about you trying to put in your best efforts and trying to leverage the most out of, if not first, one of your retail fundraising experiences. Going ahead, I would just like to use some time to, recap the rewards that are available in the Give India fundraising challenge. I'm sure that your campaign managers would have already made you well equipped with this knowledge. Um, However, I still thought that for the better of the larger group, let's just go through the reward structure once. So the central rewarding scheme of the Give India fundraising challenge comprises of success labs and mega rewards. If you observe this slide carefully, it is basically a ladder. You know, step one could be raising 10,000 rupees. Step two could be raising, increasing that to 50,000 rupees. Step three could be increasing that to 1 lakh, and so on. The higher you raise, the more rewards you win. So if you have raised 10,000 rupees by the end of March 30th, you are eligible for a matching reward of 1 lakh, 1,400 rupees. If you happen to raise 50,000 rupees instead, this 1,400 rupees increases to 7,000 rupees. So which means on raising 50,000 by the end of the challenge, you will get a 7,000 rupees ka guaranteed reward. And mark my words when I say that these are guaranteed rewards. So you're not competing with any other charity. If another organization has raised 5 lakh rupees, they're not taking away anything from you. We have a significant reward pool. So if you happen to reach 5 lakh later, probably till the end of the challenge, you too would make yourself eligible for the 80,000 rupee reward. Okay. Why we have bifurcated it into success labs and mega rewards is because we know that there are certain organizations who from the very start they focus on the higher numbers, on the bigger numbers, like 50 lakh, 1 crore, 1.5 crores, 3 crores. Therefore, to kind of give them that encouragement or motivation from the very start, you can see that the mega rewards also that we have communicated here, they are quite high, significantly high. On the other hand, maximum number of the NGO partners that participate in the Give India fundraising challenge, they could be first time fundraisers, or they could be someone who've had some fundraising experience on another platform but might be doing it for the first time at Give India, or they could be some of our partner organizations that have fundraised with us in the past, but then their budget requirements are not a 50 lakh requirement or a 1 crore or a 1.5 crore for them to focus on the mega reward. So what do these charities generally do? As I said, the success lab and mega reward should be treated like a ladder. Okay. We do not expect NGO partners to set highly ambitious targets. Okay, I think my screen share was hijacked for a bit. That's all right. I request the participants not to share their screens during the session. For any one-on-one guidance on your specific programs, on your specific fundraisers, you have our email ID, you have campaign managers to connect with. And towards the end of the session, we will give you some opportunity where you can address your generic queries. But yeah, we request you not to share your screen over the presentation. Thank you so much. Yeah, so as I was saying, that treat this like a ladder. Don't set highly ambitious targets for yourself. Let's say, let's not say that, if this is my first time fundraising experience in general or with Give India, let's not even shoot for a 10 lakh or a 30 lakh to begin with. Try to focus on your first 10,000 rupees. If you're able to achieve that, look forward to raising 50,000 rupees. How can you increase that 10,000 or 12,000 that you've raised to 50,000 rupees? So try to achieve it one step at a time. As I said, the higher you raise, the more you win. You might want to communicate higher targets to your donors that we have a requirement of 10,000 rupees, but sorry, 10 lakh rupees. But please understand that the kind of donors that you may generally reach out to would be retail donors who could be your relatives, your friends, college students, volunteers. If you communicate that your requirement is 10 lakh rupees, sometimes it might just set off these people, right? My contribution of 500 rupees or 1,000 rupees, how significant is that towards helping you in achieving the 10 lakh rupee mark? It plays a very crucial psychological role in the minds of the donors. On the other hand, if you tell me that, hey, I'm running a fundraiser and I'm trying to, raise the first 10,000 rupees so that I can benefit one beneficiary, let's say one beneficiary or two beneficiaries with XYZ commodities or with XYZ services or with XYZ skill training, that plays a more, a more appealing role as a donor in my mind, that okay, the ask is 10,000 rupees. Even if I contribute 1,000 rupees or a 500, it will, at least help achieve 5% or 10% of the target. which is why it is not necessary that you set a huge target for yourself from the very start. Yes, your project requirements may be of 30 lakhs, maybe of 40 lakhs, maybe of 50 lakhs. But if it is your first time fundraising experience, higher targets and communicating those big numbers to the donors might actually repel donors. All right. The idea I wanted to communicate here was that treat this like a ladder and put in your best effort. You never know that while raising your first 10,000 rupees, you would realize that, oh, I have more donors and I can do 25,000 rupees instead, or I can do 50,000 rupees instead. And that, that motivation of coming closer to your smaller target should in fact encourage you to go higher and higher. It works with you and it also works with your donors. So for example, if your initial target is 10,000 rupees, you can easily communicate to your donors that, I've done 9,000 rupees through your help. If you help me spread the message by, simple share on Facebook or WhatsApp or, any of your social media platforms, we could rather end up doing 25,000 rupees or 50,000 rupees that will help XYZ more number of beneficiaries. So people will know that, okay, you're come closer to your initial target, and with small push and effort you can do much more better. So it also helps in building that donor psyche of being updated with your campaign, with updated with your fundraising efforts. Helps donors come back, probably top up their previous donations, or at least share and champion for your cause to their network. Okay, so this was the general overview of the Give India fundraising challenge. I'd like to repeat that you have until March 30th to raise either of these amounts in cumulative on your profile on Give India fundraisers. So all of you have profiles on fundraisers.giveindia.org, which is why you had received the communication for this webinar. So you can go to fundraisers.giveindia.org. You can use the search bar to search for your NGO name. Click on the NGO tab while you're searching so that you can come to the card that is relevant to your profile. Visit your nonprofit profile. You already have that. How are you supposed to fundraise? You can either directly share your NGO profile and ask donors to contribute, or if you want to be a little more creative and you want to be a little more specific, you could actually go ahead and start a fundraiser under your NGO profile and ask NGOs to contribute to that, ask donors to contribute to that specific fundraiser itself. But your profiles are ready. You can easily share those profiles through different channels that will come and we'll talk about as we move further into the session. You can communicate that profiles to different channels and already start raising funds. So the platform to raise funds is available. The rewards that we're offering on the amounts that you raise that are there on the screen. However, since the Give India fundraising challenge has been going on for over 1.5 months now, for near about 1.5 months now, there are certain challenges, common challenges that we hear from organizations like yourself, and we'd like to throw some light on those challenges now. Don't worry, if you probably want us to come back to the reward slide again, we can do that later on during the session. But yeah, speaking of some very common challenges that we have heard from NGOs, and to begin with, we understand that many of our NGO partners are new to the concept of retail giving. Probably this is your first retail giving campaign, since you have established the organization. Probably this is your first retail giving campaign with Give India, and your earlier retail giving campaign were not majorly your efforts, but probably the efforts of the volunteers or the efforts of the platform where you had started these fundraisers. So we understand. So we understand that you may be new to the entire world of retail giving, commonly known as the world of crowdfunding. We also understand that in the past, you may have relied on very specific type of donors. For example, CSR institutions that are among the the most popular kind of donors that NGOs go after. Why do NGOs go after them? Because obviously, you get a bigger commitment from these people, a 5 lakh, 10 lakh, 3 lakh commitment for a certain period, which can actually help you sustain, a lot of your financial year's budget, which is why we understand that why the popularity of NGOs running after CSR and institutions is quite high. However, the one thing that the COVID situation has taught us is that it may not be a sustainable, mechanism for you to only rely upon these big shot donors or your HNIs who tomorrow may not be able to commit the funding to you, but to something else to some other cause or some emergency relief that they may need to focus on during a certain time. Hence, in the past few years, in the past 2 years, in fact, now this is what COVID has done. In the past 2 years, we've seen NGOs actually moving to retail giving. How does retail giving help them? They try to set up a network of potential people who can support the cause. They try to set up that network, reach out to this network for their smaller retail giving contributions. Now, because you are setting up a wide network and motivating everyone to contribute as per their own convenience and their own comfort, it becomes a more sustainable, let's say, a more sustainable sort of donor network for you. So even if later your CSR partner, your institutional giving partner has not been able to commit funds to you, you can always back upon these individual supporters to at least make up for, if not all, at least a significant portion of your financial year's budget. However, since we understand that retail giving concept is new, we know that there's a lot of training that you need to kind of explore this and excel in it. One thing that I try to be very honest to NGOs about is that retail giving is not a magical wand. You cannot expect that you do one retail giving campaign. I know if that becomes a successful campaign or if it is a failure campaign, it decides the future of retail giving for you. That is not the case. You really need to take that first step, learn from the mistakes, do a second retail giving fundraiser, learn further from there, and probably in this cycle of doing things over and over again, you establish retail giving as a sustainable model of raising funds for your organization. So it's no magic. Some NGOs who may have experience of retail giving might already know the nitty-gritties, may already know the do's and don'ts of retail giving, and hence you might see that they're excelling in the leaderboard of the Give India fundraising challenge. But if you're still not there, do not worry. Platforms like ours and opportunities like the Give India fundraising challenge are meant to encourage you to try your hands in retail giving, which is why I said that if it's your first campaign, start with smaller targets. Start with a target of raising 10,000 rupees or 50,000 rupees through, in the next 2 weeks. Just start with that. While you do that, you might just realize that, there's a lot of scope for you to learn further in retail giving, or there might be certain do's and don'ts that you might realize for your next retail giving campaign. One thing that we have really seen a lot of organizations exploring now is cross-selling. Now, what do I mean by cross-selling? The pandemic led to many CSRs and institutions actually directing their budgets, their giving budgets to the emergency situations that were there at hand. Some of our NGO partners still did not give up there. They knew that retail giving was something they had to venture into. What they rather did was that instead of asking the corporate for a 5 lakh grant, which probably they may not be able to commit at that point of time, so they're already committing their grants elsewhere, they reached out to the corporate with a backup. The backup being that, okay, let us do a retail giving campaign together. Let us do a crowdfunding campaign together. If you're not able to commit to us your CSR budget of 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs, can you at least help us with something where we can set up a fundraiser with your branding? It talks about how you are supporting our cause, how you are championing for our cause. You just need to circulate it within the employee network with a certain pitch. Could be that probably end of the financial year, hence claim your ATG tax exemptions. Okay, so it could be some pitch that might work right now, or maybe the corporate might want to do a matching, that if all the employees are able to raise 2.5 lakh rupees, the corporate would match it by 100%. So try to seek these opportunities where you're cross selling the retail fundraising option, the crowdfunding option, to these donors, to these institutional donors, or to these CSR donors. So if you get a no from these donors, do not just leave that opportunity there. Try to cross sell a crowdfunding campaign where you can help set up with the help of our team. You can help set up, you can help, give it the necessary branding for your corporate partner, for your institutional partner. And the partner just needs to circulate that link with a certain message that, again, either you can help them along with our help, or the corporate partner could write themselves. So this is something that has really started to work well for some of our NGO partners. Another thing that our NGO partners have started to do is they've started to talk very extravagantly about the matching rewards. Sometimes matching rewards definitely act as that motivator. If I, as a donor, like if you come to me as a donor saying that, if you contribute 500 rupees, I have a donor who can match it with 100 more rupees. So you will in fact be making an impact of 600 rupees. Or, if you like communicate bigger numbers, obviously the scale seems higher, the impact seems higher. So many donors definitely get influenced when there's a matching donor that you have. And in this case, your matching donor during the Give India fundraising challenge is Give India. So you can actually go to these donors that, for whatever contribution that you are giving to me, Give India actually has the potential to match it by by up to 25%. Now, let me be very clear here. We are not saying that you're getting a 25% matching reward. So yeah, up to 25%, which means you can claim anything between a 10% to 25%, depending on, wherever you land by the end of the Give India fundraising challenge in the success reward or the mega reward table. Okay. But even that little intimation of your donors knowing that there is a certain donor who will match their donations sometimes plays a crucial role and sometimes plays as a deciding factor. Many NGOs have started communicating this to corporates that okay, you contribute or you help us with this fundraiser and let's try to achieve a 5 lakh goal. And Give India is willing to give me close to 1 lakh rupees. So 80,000 rupees is the reward that we have for achieving 5 lakh. And this is what NGOs have started pitching. Okay. So even if you're beginners to crowdfunding, it's not a hard stop. It is a challenge that can definitely be encountered, and we request you to use the Give India fundraising challenge as an opportunity where you can take that learning step. Many NGOs have come to us with this doubt that we have tried doing a lot on social media, we have tried posting, or we have tried sharing on the social media, but it has not worked. Let us try to address what all problem persists with the social media here. Number one, many organizations do not have a visibility on social media. Let's accept that, right? Social media is not easy. Number one, there are so many social media platforms. Every social media platform is different, right? Every social media platform solves a different purpose. For example, something like a Facebook, you know, could be engaging to an audience that that generally comes and in their free time and goes through Facebook posts and gets influenced by by certain posts. Something like a Twitter is very instant. You cannot rely on making one tweet on Twitter for a day's time or for a week's time. On Twitter, conversations happen within seconds, within minutes. So if you want to, let out your appeal in the form of a conversation that you can carry out, and you can actually be very frequent while tweeting, probably Twitter might be a good platform for you to explore. LinkedIn is a platform that may work while influencing, your professional connects into giving. Okay, so this could be something that would be beneficial for your board members, or for the head of fundraisers, or for the CEOs and the directors of your organizations, who could actually leverage their LinkedIn circle and encourage people to give. Probably an NGO post may not work that well on LinkedIn until unless people's interest is in that, in your particular cost segment, or in the work that you do. But one appeal from a board member or from the director or the CEO can definitely do a lot better on LinkedIn. So as I said, there are multiple platforms that are available, and each platform has its own pros and cons, right? Understanding each platform is a whole ball game altogether. Then each platform requires its own frequency of posts. How many posts should you do on Twitter? How many posts should you do on Facebook? Each platform requires its own frequency, and obviously the content matters. On Twitter, you cannot go on and describe your work in a big paragraph. No one will read it. This is why Twitter used to have a shorter character limit. Communicate your ideas in the minimum possible word and grab the eyes of the donor. On Facebook, a more detailed appeal, a more formatted appeal might actually work, right? Similarly on LinkedIn, an appeal from a board member in the same manner might actually work. On Twitter, it will definitely not, right? So while many people do not have visibility on social media platforms, or your visibility on social media platforms might be restricted to one or two platforms, there are many other organizations where the engagement of the kind of post that you do on the social media platform, the engagement is very less. For example, you made a post You have made an appeal that, we do this work and you can click the link below to donate, but you're not getting sufficient response. And this is a very common challenge that we have heard from many organizations. I think what you need to review here is that what is not working. For example, is my post very bland? Is it very plain? Does it have a visual appeal? Does it is it not able to evoke that emotional chord in the donors? What we generally try to generally try to encourage NGOs that what they should do is, once you've made a post, ask your team member or ask any of your relative to just go to that post and see if within 3 seconds, what you should try to learn from this exercise is if the person is able to understand my idea within 3 seconds, because that is the attention span of any random person on social media platforms scrolling through their feed. Okay, so this could be one exercise that you can look at exploring. Maybe not having a very text heavy post, maybe keeping your call to actions very small. For example, visit the link below to know more. That's all. You could have an infographic and you could say visit the link below to know more. That's all. If someone wants to visit that link, they can come to your profile. They have an option of knowing more about it. They have an option to contact you. They have an option to, kind of donate or start a fundraiser for you. So what kind of content you're posting on social media is also important. Another thing that we feel is that success of one or two social media posts, again, cannot be detrimental or, cannot be the deciding factor that is social media working for me or not. Trust me, even social media is not a magic wand, right? You need to invest time and effort into social media, and it can actually test your patience. Let me tell you very honestly, if you've not had a good social media presence so far and you've only started to do things during GFC while communicating with your campaign managers, it is likely that you'll only be able to, kind of enjoy the fruits of this exercise only if you happen to do it consistently, maybe 6 months or 1 year down the line. Which means that if social media is not instantly working for you and you have an urgent opportunity, weigh the opportunity costs, right? If social media is not working, can I adopt another channel of communication? That is an important question to ask. If my social media posts are not working, can I rather shift my focus into emails or WhatsApp follow-ups? That is a question that you should be asking yourself. Definitely, if you want to focus more on social media, ask yourself that, have you given sufficient time to social media? Or, it's fair enough for you to invest your energies elsewhere. But what we're trying to convey is that's no magic wand. It will take time. It will take time for you to understand that what kind of content is working for you, what kind of content is actually leading people into going and, donating to you. Also, sometimes the kind of content, for example, if you start something with donate, or give money, or if you start with an appeal that directly says give money, sometimes people might actually not go ahead and read more of it. So make your post engaging in the way that for probably you've quoted a fact. Do you want to know how many more women, probably you've quoted a fact on on domestic abuse? Do you know how many women, and probably you can end that post by saying that, do you know how many women, let's say an Adarsh Mahila Bachat Ghat has been able to protect from domestic violence? If not, click here to know more. So, with the fact you have raised their curiosity, and then just give them a call to action so that they can respond to that curiosity. So definitely the kind of posts here also matters. Many NGOs tell us that, they don't have a large network. Retail giving is about people, is about, making your cause available to a lot of people, making it visible to a lot of people, which is why, many organizations turn to social media. Uh, However, one thing that we've constantly heard is that, I do not have a network or I do not have volunteers. Many a times NGOs tell us that, they are one man army. They fund the organization themselves, or they tell us that, they have exhausted their donor base and can't keep going back to them and keep asking them for money. The question you should ask yourself is, have we sought other alternatives to engage with the donors than just asking them for money? You know, Once you may ask for money, second time you may ask for money, third time we ourselves as humans, we are uncomfortable going back to them and asking them for money again, right? The donor might think that what is it? They only contact you when they're short of money. Have we tried to ensure that we have given an engaging experience to this particular donor? When you ask them money, did you report to them that how have you utilized their money? Have you given them the opportunity to engage with your post, or have you given them the opportunity to volunteer with your organization? So you really need to work on making your donors feel engaged. That is, if you have a donor base, small or big, your donors need to feel that they're engaged with your cause, with your organization. Like they have donated to you out of a trust that you'll be using this money towards the good of someone, and you need to communicate that that goodness to the donors, that this is how your donation has helped us. So inculcate that goodwill, inculcate that positive feelings in the donor, so that later on, because they've developed a positive experience, later on when you go ahead and ask them for donation at any later point of time, they could turn back to this experience and probably donate to you back again. Many times people tell us that we don't have a network. Ideally, everyone has a network. Okay, so I personally don't like to believe this fact that I don't have anyone does not have a network. You may not have donors, that is agreeable, but you always have a network. You have your friends, you have your families, you have your colleagues, you have people who would be associated with you, you have beneficiaries. So for example, many organizations that work with children, helping them with education, helping them with scholarship, many of these children have graduated, right? Why can't they champion for your cause to create the same impact that your organization had created in their lives? So I believe that everyone has a network, and there should be ways to engage with this network. For example, we understand that you might not want to kind of keep going back to your friends and family members for donations. Okay, let's not do that. Let's not ask them for donations. Let's tell them that I have started this fundraiser because you have supported us in the past. We really appreciate your efforts, but this time in the fundraiser we request if you could share it in your close knit networks. So you're not asking them for donations. That feeling that this NGO only comes back to me for money, 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 that kind of breaks here. You're not asking them for donations. What you're just asking them to do is to give you more visibility, is to champion for the cause, right? So probably try to explore these options with people who are not comfortable asking for donations, but rather ask them to champion for your cause by sharing your content on their social media platforms, or sharing your content on their, WhatsApp broadcast, Facebook broadcast, etc. Try to establish this connection. Ask yourself if you're establishing that connection consistently. Again, things need to be done consistently, right? You cannot just do it one time and that be the end of things. At the same point of time, respect that a donor might not just want to donate money to you, they might want to donate time. So try to engage them in activities. Many times when donors, or when volunteers, they have spent time working for your organization and feeling connected with the cause, feeling a part of the impact. Many times that entire intent of donating to you or fundraising for you comes from that particular experience itself. So try to impart this experience into the donor journeys. Many times NGOs tell us that we have been reaching out, but they're just not getting converted into donations. Number one, you cannot get demotivated because of this. Rather, what we should try to understand is that what is it that is going wrong? Are we writing too long content? Are we writing too short content? Are we not, as I just suggested an example, are we not hitting the curiosity in the people, so that they can click on a certain CTA and learn more? So you need to ask yourself these questions, that if I'm sending appeal, if I'm sending reach outs, what is going wrong? It may be possible that you've only tried social media so far. Have you tried? There might be one or two people who would have liked your post or who would have commented on your post. Gently, when nonprofits post, or even when we post, we receive comments. You're doing great work. God bless you. God bless the beneficiary. If you're talking about a certain beneficiary, have you actually tried to send a private message to them that we see that you've engaged with our post? It would be great if you could help us spread the word by sharing our post in your over your wall or in your network, and it would be extremely great if you could offer your support in the form of a donation, right? So have you tried to engage with the people who are engaging with your post? Have you tried to kind of motivate them to donate, or engage more better, or one step ahead, instead of a like or a comment or a share? That is the question you need to ask yourself. Let's say social media is not working. You have sent out one email blast. Okay, let's say that is not working. Can I top it up with another email, say 1 week or 2 week later? Out of this email blast, I'm sure that there would be some people who would be, some personal contacts of mine with whom I can connect with on a more, in a more deeper manner. Can I top up my email with a small WhatsApp message to these people? Right? Have you tried to explore these options? Many a times we see that follow-ups do the trick. Imagine getting something done through your best friends, right? It takes like one or two follow-ups to remind them that, hey, do this, do this, do this. Hi, hey, have you done this or not? Hey, I need this help. Can you help me with this thing or not? So try to kind of implement the same thing with your donors as well. A single reach out, a single post may not do the trick. Follow-ups are a must. Another thing that we learn from any organization is that, hey, I reached out to my donor, but they're more comfortable donating to me in my account directly than going through Give India and having spent a 3% payment processing charge. We completely understand that. And in fact, we are happy and glad that at least you were able to reach out, and at least that reach out helped you in raising funds. However, did you try to tell them that if you donate through Give India, Give India would match it by at least a minimum of 10% or a certain percentage. Therefore, even though there are deductions, even though there's a 3% reduction, my ultimate takeaway will be a lot more. As I said, many donors definitely get influenced by the idea of another donor matching their contribution, because that is what helps increase their contribution, their net contribution, and augments the impact. We understand that some donors might still feel uncomfortable, because as humans we do not really respond well to change. We prefer the conventional modes of doing bank transfers, which is completely fine. But at least let's try to communicate to the donor that this is the benefit. So yeah, I mean, you're already contributing, you're already doing something generous, but yeah, this is an added benefit if you do it through Give India during the time of the Give India fundraising challenge. And it would really help if you could help us augment the impact. So these were some of the common problems that we have heard from our charities, and we were just hoping if we could give you an alternate to these problems, just to ensure that they don't come across as hard stops for you. There are always ways. Yes, these are challenges, but challenges can always be overcome, right? So I hope that we were able to plant that idea into your minds. We will quickly now just walk through some of the problems that we have, we feel that might be more relevant here as well. Number one, we feel that NGOs really need to understand and the concept of the Give India fundraising challenge, right? The idea of the Give India fundraising challenge is that we give NGOs a 2-month window, which is in the month of February and March, so that they can put in their best efforts to fundraise through retail giving. And in exchange of that, in exchange of their efforts, in exchange of whatever amounts that they've raised, how their efforts have translated into fundraise, we provide them matching rewards. That is the concept of the Give India fundraising challenge. A 2-month duration is provided to the NGOs so that they could ensure that whatever training that they need to learn about retail fundraising is, they have all the time to do that. At the same point of time, once they are well equipped with the platform, once they have learned how it is done on Give India, they could leverage the maximum possible time into fundraising. Sometimes what NGOs do is they would send out an appeal in the beginning of the 2 months, and then that one appeal would be it. As I said, consistency, regular follow-ups are the key to retail giving. So we really encourage you to not stop at one appeal or one email or one WhatsApp broadcast, but time it properly. If you are leveraging the entire 2-month duration, maybe weekly appeals or weekly updates to the same group might help in converting more and more people as time goes by. Now that we are very close to the culmination of the Give India fundraising challenge, probably you can start by sharing one appeal today. Probably 2 days later, you can share another appeal. Next week, you can share your third appeal. Probably you can then segment the people who you're sharing these appeals with, and then you can send smaller follow-ups over WhatsApp or on a regular basis to the different smaller groups. But NGOs need to realize that you need to leverage the time as well that has been provided to you during the Give India fundraising challenge. And the time is there to ensure that you are learning crowdfunding, you're exploring crowdfunding, and you have all the time to explore crowdfunding through your first or second or your initial fundraiser with Give India. Need for collective effort is something that many organizations face a challenge with. What generally happens is that our campaign managers are in touch with the primary person of contact that is listed for the organization. Many times we feel that, the POC of the organization who we are in touch with, they assume that they have to do everything. And that is not the case. Don't make this as a stressful exercise for you. Rather, take it to be a team target. That, hey team, just huddle up with your team, that, hey team, we have this opportunity in February and March, or we have just 2 months, 2 weeks time to leverage this fantastic opportunity. And we just want everyone to put in, small efforts towards, raising, helping us achieve certain targets. Trust me, when your board members, when your colleagues, friends of your colleagues, when everyone takes it as a as an exercise, as a learning exercise for themselves, is exactly when things become a lot more fruitful. Many a times we see that the primary contact person of the organization has worked very hard with us for, for creating a fundraiser, for drafting that fantastic fundraising appeal, and suddenly when things go to their social media team, probably things are not moving as quickly, right? So something that you should keep in mind is that when we talk about opportunities like the Give India fundraising challenge, definitely take your team to be a part of this entire effort, and don't make this like a stressful exercise for your oneself alone. The more number of people, again, retail fundraising is about people. The more number of people that you have, the responsibilities are segregated. You can give smaller targets. For example, even if you want to raise just 10,000 rupees, catch hold of 10 people, 20 people, and ask them to raise 500 rupees. That's what will they do at max? They will contribute that 500 rupees themselves, right? At max, they'll do that, or else they might not be able to do it. That's okay. At least they made the effort of, of probably trying to raise that 500 rupees, or trying to raise that 1,000 rupees, or trying to donate or raise that 500 or 1,000 rupees, right? But try to make it as a collective effort, so that you could not stress yourself with, big numbers. You could probably add this as an encouragement exercise for your entire team, enabling everyone to, raise smaller targets. Share a fundraiser link with them, that, hey, this is the link that we are fundraising on, and, this is where you can encourage any of your any of your, network, any person, any potential donor in your network to contribute. Lastly, I cannot stress enough on this point. Follow-ups are the essence to any retail fundraising campaign. Even when you see a platform like Give India or any other retail giving platform that is there in the space, when we raise funds for any specific medical case, there would be multiple promotions done to ensure that the amount is raised. Many times you would come to the same video over and over again. This is exactly what follow up is. We have to ensure that, we are planting, or we are hitting, or we're striking the minds of the potential donor with this idea as much as possible, so that eventually, they take that final leap of faith and they donate to your organization. All right. So yes, follow up might be an exercise, or, you might not feel comfortable following up with everyone, but with how many number of people, whatever is the convenient number, comfortable number of people, or the comfortable network that you're willing to follow up with, we request you to, kind of complement your first reach out, be it on social media, be it on emails, or be it on WhatsApp messages, and ensure that, you're following up. So when you've created a broadcast group, probably you can just add an update a week later that, hey, we've been able to do this much, or, or these many beneficiaries still await your support. We have some organizations like Vivekanand Youth Forum. They've recently started their retail fundraising efforts during GFC, and I see the POC, broadcasting a message on their WhatsApp status every second day. She would tell people that this is the amount that we have raised, and these many more children on, await your support, which has actually now helped them pick up pace. So, the last I saw their campaign a week ago, they were at some 20,000 raise, and now right now when I saw their campaign again through one of their follow-ups, they were at 3,66,000. So yeah, follow-ups do help. It does create a sense of urgency, and, hits the donor psyche in the right way. So these are certain areas of concern that we wanted to highlight that sometimes NGOs may miss, and hence it was important for us to acknowledge this. I would quickly like to do one thing. I'd just like to take 4 more minutes to present, the exclusive opportunity that we had for all NGOs who have joined this webinar, who had received the communication for this webinar. So exclusively for you, we have scheduled one of the booster incentives of the Give India fundraising challenge. So far you may have received communications about NGO of the day, about Weekend Carnival, about 10 to Tango, and you might have felt that, oh God, the amount raised or the criteria to win the bonus rewards is a lot, and probably that may have demotivated you. This is again something that again we have learned from your campaign managers, where they have insisted that there are organizations who have smaller targets, probably smaller things will be able to appeal them more, something that is more easily achievable. And this is exactly what we have tried to do in our upcoming booster incentive, which is Das Kadam. What do we have for you in Das Kadam? We will consider a fundraising window between March 16th to March 19th. So March 16th is a Wednesday. Then March 17th is when you have for people who celebrate Holi, it's when you have Choti Holi. March 18th, you have Holi. Again, many NGOs may be on leave on that day, or there may be a lot of seasons greeting happening on that day. Some NGOs would be sending newsletters, or they would do mass broadcast to their email list, wishing them a happy Holi on that day. So March 18 becomes that particular day, and then March 19th, Saturday, a weekend right after Holi. People would still be in that holiday mode, and probably they'll be able to pay attention to any communication that they receive. So we've given you this very, very exciting period from March 16th to March 19th. Again, if you're wishing people Holi, nothing better than that. You can just probably, add one line to it, that to support our efforts better and to make Holi as joyful and colorful for our beneficiaries, you can use the link below to donate. One of the email appeals or one of the WhatsApp message, that one of the lines that you can include in your email appeals and WhatsApp messages. Now, what is the reward that's up for grab? Or, what is the criteria? We're giving you a very small target. Find 10 different individuals who can contribute to you within these 4 days duration. 10 individuals, that's all. You might want to reach out to more than 10 individuals, which is only good for you. But yeah, we wanted to make it as small and as easy as possible. Find 10 individuals who can contribute to you between this time. Okay. These could be your friends, these could be your family members, your colleagues. You as colleagues, if you have a team of, let's say, 10-15 people itself, your colleagues could be the one to contribute to the fundraiser, right? 10 individuals you need to identify that can donate any amount to you. So there's no minimum criteria on the amount that one can donate. Okay, apart from, like, the platform has a 50 rupee limit, but yeah, you can contribute any amount of your choice. We're not asking you to bring 1,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees donation from single donors. We're not doing that this time. On the amount that these 10 different individuals have donated to your project or through your profiles on Give India fundraisers, you are eligible for a 15% matching reward up to 50,000 rupees. It is likely that you find 10 people can contribute 500 rupees each. You end up raising 5,000 rupees. You end up raising 5,000 rupees and you win a 15% matching reward on that. It is possible you find 10 people who can contribute 1,000 rupees to you, right? Your total takeaway, you end up raising 10,000 rupees in this 4-day duration, and you take away a 1,500 rupee reward, which is a 15% matching reward. Now, because you've also raised 10,000 rupees here, you would also qualify for the success lab that we had discussed earlier, right? So you would also qualify for this first success lab. So you would also be making yourself eligible for a 1,400 rupees guaranteed reward. So 1,400 rupees guaranteed reward here. In addition to that, 15,000 rupees guaranteed, 1,500 rupees guaranteed reward here. So on raising 10,000 rupees in this 4-day duration, you're in fact taking away 3,000 rupees, close to 3,000 rupees, 2,900 rupees. Okay, so this is how the rewards can be in addition to whatever you raise in the success labs, right? You might actually find 10 donors who might want to contribute 5,000 rupees each, or let's not even go there. There could be one donor who would contribute 10,000 rupees to you, and all other donors, all the other remaining 9 donors could contribute 50 rupees, 100 rupees. Ultimately, whatever will be your collection, it will definitely help you progress in the success lab ladder, and it will also make you eligible for the 15% matching reward up to 50,000 rupees. The task is small, the takeaways are good. We really hope that this is something that, that can encourage and motivate you to leverage the Holy Spirit, to leverage the festive spirit that comes around Holi, encourage people to, make Holi as joyful and colorful for your beneficiaries, for your organizations by donating to you within this time. Just focus on getting 10 different people to donate. Now, when I say 10 different people to donate, there's just one word of caution I want to add here. When you go into the platform of Give India fundraisers, how do we identify unique donors or these unique supporters? Every donor who wishes to make a contribution to you, they will have to log into the platform, right? Using either their email ID or their contact number. And then they'll have to fill in a donor detail form, which is a mandatory requirement. The mode of login used by the donor is exactly what differentiates the individuals or the unique supporters for the system. So I insist that please don't get into an exercise where there's one person in the organization who has logged into the platform and they have filled in details of 10 different people and donated through different accounts. Because that one person would have done a login through one ID, that will be counted. Those 10 donations will be counted as one unique supporter and you'll not meet the matching, the rewarding criteria here. So insist that your donors are the ones who are actually going to the platform, because when they generally go to the platform, they log in using their own details and this entire hassle is taken care of. Okay. So just ensure that there are 10 donors who can go to the platform, make a contribution for you. You raise funds from them. As soon as you hit the 10 donors criteria, whatever amount you've raised from these 10 donors gets matched by 15% up to 50,000 rupees. So this is the opportunity that we have available. I will now just quickly go through the chat box to see if there are any questions that have come so far. Okay. Himanshi, if one donor give big donation between 10 lakh to 20,000, will I still be eligible for 10% bonus? Himanshi, your question is very relevant. Even if you have one donor, let's say you have one corporate partner or one HNI that is willing to give to you, let's say they are willing to give to you 15 lakh rupees. Okay. If I go to the success lab criteria, if you get this one donor to contribute 15 lakh rupees, you would end up qualifying for the 10 lakh slab. You have crossed 10 lakh rupees as the amount raised. You would end up securing a reward of 1.65 lakhs directly, be it in one donation, be it in multiple donations. Okay. In addition to that, if this 15 lakh rupees, let's say this 15 lakh rupees has come during Daska Dam contest, I know there are other donors who have contributed smaller amounts. You will also be eligible for 15% on the amount that you have raised up to 50,000 rupees. Okay. So that is something that will be available for you during Daska Dam. However, even beyond Daska Dam, I mean, you can try to bring in this donation, and whatever is the amount against that donation in the success lab, that will be eligible for. Okay. So the intent of this session was to ensure that we are able to counter, or at least present an alternate perspective to some of the common challenges that we have heard from the charity partners. Um, I would now like to understand if any one of you would like to, probably highlight a challenge. You could use the chat box, which becomes very convenient since it's very easier to handle. Or probably if someone wants to raise their hand and, probably discuss a generic query, I again request if we can discuss generic queries and not things that are specific to your project or, to your cause areas. This is a discussion will be more relevant with your campaign managers. But if there's any other general query that you think that that probably we could discuss in this session, now is the time. You can use the chat box or you can give us a raise of hands. I would allow 2 minutes in case anyone is typing any query in the chat box, or if someone is thinking to raise their hands, probably just trying to frame their thoughts. I'll allow 2 minutes. Um, and yeah, I hope that we can cover whatever queries that we may have here. Rishi, in case there's any question that I may have missed, something that you may have received privately and needs an answer to, please feel free to let me know. In case there's a raise of hand and I'm missing out, please feel free to let me know while I'm speaking. Okay. Okay. We have
Yeah, sure,
another
Baba.
question for Himanshi. We have recently logged into the system again. We'll be starting a campaign now. I would need to know few highlights on the platform for fundraiser challenge. Okay, Himanshi, if there's something that you would want to understand, like some general queries that you would want to understand, we can probably unmute you and you can discuss. Or if we understand from your queries that it's more relevant to be discussed with your campaign manager, we can also ensure that your campaign manager gets in touch with you after the session. I have a raise of hand from Sampurna Bora. I'm allowing you to, I've sent you a request to unmute yourself. Great.
Hi.
Yes, Sampurna.
So I wanted to ask, since we'll be having a 15% matching reward on the fundraisers that will be done during this period of Holi.
Hmm.
So there's been an upper limit of 50,000 rupees. So
Yes.
as Himanshi has asked, a particular donor might be giving us much more money. So if
Yeah.
the 15% of that donation is more than 50,000, so we won't be getting that, right? It's
The
like
reward will be capped at 50,000. You'll be getting
50,000.
the 50,000 rupee reward, which is the maximum available
That's the
takeaway here.
max.
Yes.
Okay, okay. All right, sure. Thank
However,
you.
as I said, the motivating factor for you could be that this 15% reward is something you only secure in 10 kadam, right? There's obviously a success lab reward that comes automatically. So definitely the larger takeaways will be a lot more. So let's say 15 lakh rupees come in, you're in fact winning away 1.65 plus 50,000, which
Okay,
is,
okay.
more than 2 lakhs.
Okay, okay.
Right? So you could look at the bigger picture as well. But yeah, in 10 kadam, the reward will be capped at 50,000 rupees.
2,000. Okay, okay. All right. Thank
Since
you.
since the idea is because we do not want to convey bigger numbers, therefore 10 supporters is the least minimum criteria that we wanted to encourage. And we know that some NGOs are just trying their hands for the first time. Maybe the donation values will be a lot less, so we wanted to encourage the idea that you have a takeaway, a substantial takeaway, with small efforts. That
All
is the
right.
idea.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Himanshi, I am just requesting you to unmute yourself now. Just give me a minute. Yes, ask to unmute. Himanshi, I think our team is requesting you to unmute. Not sure if you're getting our request. Okay. While we try to connect with Himanshi, is there anybody else who would like to address any other challenge that you may be facing in general, and probably is something that you'd like to understand our perspective on? Okay, I think we'll allow another minute for anyone if you want to show a raise of hand, ask a question. And while that is happening, again, just requesting that with 2 weeks remaining into the challenge, please feel free to, set that first foot into retail giving with Give India. Contact us on gfc@giveindia.org if you like. I go through a lot of the queries along with my team on this particular email address. You can reach out to your campaign managers and they'll definitely be able to help you with a lot more hand holding regarding your own fundraisers, regarding the kind of campaign that you might want to work upon. And please ensure that you're leveraging these 2 weeks for not just extensive mass reach outs, but even one-on-one follow-ups. Let's say even if you've reached out to, let's say, 100 or 500 email IDs, please ensure that there are at least 10, 15, 20 people to whom you have done rigorous personal follow-ups to. Yes, the email ID is on the screen, Malika. It's gfc@giveindia.org. There's a question from Sundar Raj. Can you please tell us the steps to fundraise for fresher in GFC? Sundar, as I have communicated, I'll just be very brief with this. As I've communicated that all of you have fundraising profiles on fundraisers.giveindia.org. I'm also putting this on chat. So if you go to fundraisers.giveindia.org, you can use the search bar to find the name of your organization. Please make sure that you're searching for your NGO in the NGO tab and not in the fundraisers or the projects tab. Search in the NGO tab. It will lead you to your fundraising profile. When you're on fundraising profile, that is exactly where you're supposed to raise funds for yourself. You can directly circulate this fundraising profile to potential donors, or you can start an individual fundraiser and then then share the link of that particular story to your fundraisers. There's a show of hand from Harish. Harish, before that, I'll just like to read through Itasha's query, where Tasha have an issue of logging into our page on your website. Okay. To Mini, if you could put this down on gfc@givindia.org, we can help you with the necessary guidance. Like you can share the specific URLs where the login is required, not required, etc. So if you could just put down this query to gfc@givindia.org. I am requesting Harish to unmute themselves, please.
हेलो
Yes, Harish.
सर मुझे ये पूछना था कि हम लोग ये जीएफसी के थ्रू कॉर्पस डोनेशन एक्सेप्ट कर सकते हैं
Okay.
अगर वो मेरा डोनर है जो मुझे आपका प्रॉपरली देता है लिख के कि ये मेरा डोनेशन कॉर्पस के लिए आप यूज करो तो कैन यू एक्सेप्ट
ओके हरीश, कॉर्पस के लिए आपको एक सजेशन जो हम देंगे वो ये देंगे कि एक प्रोजेक्ट अपना पब्लिश करा लीजिए फंडरेजर्स के प्रोफाइल पे। अपना जो फंडरेजर प्रोफाइल है ना, उसमें एक प्रोजेक्ट पब्लिश करा लीजिए जिसपे आपने लिखा होगा दैट दिस इज this is where donors can come and donate corpus money. So it could be something like corpus fund for XYZ organization, whatever is the name of your organization. ठीक है, उस प्रोजेक्ट के कंटेंट में mention that this project is specifically to raise corpus funds and the funds can be utilized for these and these purposes. Now, when I say purposes, you could write broader cause areas, for example, for education of children or for administrative purposes, etc., etc. The only intent being, usse at least एक level of tracking हो जाएगी that the donor has come in consciously to donate corpus money to you. Therefore, Give India also does not have a problem with you using that money for corpus. Okay. So एक वैसा project publish कर लीजिए which is more of an open-ended project which can allow you to raise funds from the corpus donors. I hope I was able to answer that query. And if you need support on how you can publish the, how you can, publish this project, do write to us on fundraisers.givindia.org, and I'm sure that our team will be able to help you with the necessary steps. Okay, Mini, I think that your queries are more of, process operational challenges. Do send us an email on gfc@givindia.org and we will look into those. Okay, we have a request to unmute. Just a minute. We have someone from Assist. Yes. The POC of Assist, we have sent you a request to unmute yourself. Okay. Could you try unmuting yourself now? Just click on the mic icon and maybe you'll be able to do it now.
Yes.
Great. Yeah, please tell us. Smoothie, I'm afraid that you're not audible. I also see that the mic icon has vanished against your name. let's do one thing. I'll just ask my team to get in touch with you, Mr. Murthy. Rishi, can we take a note of this, please, and we can
Yeah,
reach
sure.
the organization
Yeah,
after
we
the
will
session?
we will do the same. Yeah, after
Great.
this.
All right.
Yeah.
We're 10 minutes past time, in fact 11 minutes now. I thank you all for joining the session. We will be sharing the recording of the session along with more details on Daskadam, so you will be getting a communication for the both. Do remember that Daskadam has been launched exclusively for you, and we really hope that it can help you in these next 5 days between Wednesday to Saturday. Wishing you the best for the remainder of the Give India fundraising challenge. And I really hope that this session was helpful to you. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.